Welcome to One Mind Zen. Tonight's Dharma talk is given by Myungjin and San.
You go to your grocery store and you drive there in your Prius, ostensibly because fossil fuels are bad and driving a Prius doesn't involve fossil fuel emissions, so ergo, it's better. Now, while you're doing that, however, do you feel really good about yourself because you did? You're like, yeah, man, I'm driving a Prius, not like one of you dinosaur belching things that make me cough every time I walk behind one. Or whatever it is that a self-righteous Prius owner would say when trying to puff themselves up about their choice in vehicles without necessarily thinking about any consequences that were involved in mining the minerals for the batteries, or geez, what do they do with those batteries when they're disposed of? Now, I'm not saying that driving an internal combustion vehicle is any more meritorious than driving a Prius. I'm just saying that there are consequences to our actions. There's either favorable karma, unfavorable karma, or neutral. So you go to the grocery store, you walk in, and everything you do involves a choice. Do you get the vegan spaghetti and meatballs, or do you get Chef Boyardee? When you've gathered up all your provisions, you get up front and there's a cash register with a person behind it, and they're ringing up people in front of you. And there's kind of a line, and it's one of those things where you just know that when it comes time for this elderly woman to pay, that she's going to like take it penny by penny out of her change purse. Even though she's got the card sitting right there, she wants to unload her coinage and is going to pay for her $150 grocery bill 1 cent at a time, and then lose count. So you can be in that line, or you can go to the self-service line, where you just boop your way out into the parking lot. Is there virtue or merit in either of them? Which one do you pat yourself on the back for? Is it, I'm not contributing to the length of a line so other people can check out that much more quickly? Or is it the, well, this cashier, there aren't many of them left anymore because management has decided to lay off whole bunches of people because others are willing to use those self-checkout things? And do you feel really good about one or the other? The Buddha says, a bodhisattva should practice virtue without regard to appearances, unsupported by sights, sounds, smells, tastes, tactile sensations, or mental attachments. A bodhisattva should practice virtue without attachment to externals. Why? This is the way to being a Buddha. From the Diamond Sutra, what do you think, Subhuti? Buddha asked. If a man or woman filled 1,000 million worlds with 7 treasures and made a gift of them to the Tathagata, would they accumulate inestimable merit? Subhuti answered, the merit accrued would be beyond reckoning. Why? Because the Tathagata has taught that such merit is non-merit. We dedicate merit every week. It's part of our service. We have people to whom we dedicate our merit. Is there merit? Is there no merit? What the hell? So you're in the parking lot. We're back at the grocery store now. You're in the parking lot and you unload all your groceries into whatever the vehicle of your choice is that day. And comes the next choice. Do I take the shopping cart back to the place where they collect shopping carts? Do I put it sort of near the door? Or do I leave it in the parking lot next to where my car was, although not so that somebody will bang into it if they try and pull it into the parking space, because I've seen that happen and it's never good. Which one do you feel really good about yourself for doing? I'm going to take the shopping cart back to that place where they collect shopping carts because that's the kind of guy I am. Or, who cares? Doesn't matter. We could even say, doesn't matter, it's all empty. Or you could say, and this would probably involve shopping in the cashier operated checkout lane, that, well, you know, somebody gets paid to do this thing where they collect all of those shopping carts, and, well, there aren't that many cashiers left, and I'm sure that if the management could see clear to having everybody put their shopping carts back in that place where they collect shopping carts, then I wouldn't need to pay that guy who's out there collecting the shopping carts from the parking lot. And which one do you feel really good about doing? Taking the shopping cart in, leaving the shopping cart. It's a conundrum. And it's a conundrum not so much because there are all these choices involved, but because there are expectations that we assume others are going to have upon us based on whether we put the shopping cart back or leave it where it is. There is actually a thing I've seen about evaluating people's worth or the character based on what they do. Do they leave the shopping cart there, or do they put it back in that place where they collect shopping carts? Apparently, some people will make value judgments about someone based on that. The Buddha said, no one should say, those who set out upon the Bodhisattva path presume the annihilation of a dharma. For it is not so, Subhuti. Those who tread the Bodhisattva path do not presume the annihilation of any dharma. Suppose, Subhuti, that a man or woman filled with the 7 treasures as many galaxies as there are grains of sand in the great Ganges, and then offered them all to the Tathagatas, and suppose a bodhisattva patiently forbore all dharmas, which in themselves have no essence. The bodhisattva would gain an immeasurably greater merit. And yet, a bodhisattva should gain no merit. But would not Buddha, Subhuti asked, a bodhisattva gain much merit? He would gain it, Subhuti, but he should not grasp it. So we've got our shopping cart conundrum. We've got our, is there merit? Is there no merit? Is all merit no merit? That's why we call it merit. What's the deal? Subhuti inquired of the Lord Buddha, what do you mean great disciples do not see blessings and merit as a private possession? The Buddha replied, because those blessings and merit had never been sought after by those great disciples, they do not see them as private possessions, but they see them as the common possession of all beings. Things might be starting to click now as to, is this my merit? Is it just merit? Or is it no merit? When Bodhidharma stood before Emperor Wu, a long catalog was read out detailing all the money that the emperor had given away to pay for copying and translating sutras and opening monasteries and supporting the monks, all these great things. And at the end of the litany, Emperor Wu asked Bodhidharma, what merit have I accumulated by all this wholesome action? Much to the consternation of Emperor Wu, Bodhidharma said, none whatsoever. We do the right thing because we choose to do the right thing. We don't do it because we think it's going to give us merit or that it's really empty and nobody cares anyway because there is no merit. We just do what we do because in the scheme of things, when I do something that's meritorious, it becomes something meritorious for you as well. There's the idea that you throw a rock into a pool and all of the waves come emanating from it. If you need a metaphor, perhaps you can use that one for merit. Do something meritorious, it ripples out to all sentient beings. If nothing else, maybe the guy who has to collect the shopping carts and put them back into the place where shopping carts are collected keeps his job for another day. Maybe the Prius really is better than internal combustion. Maybe the organic vegan meatballs and spaghetti really is more meritorious than Chef Boyardee. We don't know, but we do the right thing without any regard to whether it's the right thing or not, to whether we're getting anything out of having done it. We just do it, and we do it for the benefit of all sentient beings.